We've had some great sessions this year. And as I said, September, I can't believe it's September, right, Aditi? I mean,
Yes.
is that crazy?
It's Christmas.
Right? I mean, I know. I mean, it's like the Halloween stuff's enough in the stores. I know we're going to start seeing the Christmas stuff soon, but welcome. This is a great session every month. We have our two generative AI think tanks every week at WITI, but and then we have our monthly community to really, and it's such great timing for Grant, Kiran, and Aditi to be here and just talk about, generative AI and how every industry, every title, those that are going to use these tools productively will be with us. The other ones may have a bigger challenge. So Aditi, I'm going to turn it over to you, and thanks for being here, and excited to hear everybody's thoughts on this. And after the talk, we'll do Q&A and breakout rooms. But Aditi, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, David. Everyone, welcome a lot to the session today. So, we're going to talk about AI, generative AI, and predictive AI, and more. So I'm Dr. Aditi Banerjee, and I'm advisory board member of WITI. I have a background in consulting as well as industry with the different companies that I work for as Accenture, Infosys, HCL, as well as Texas Instruments and some other firms. I'm very passionate about digital transformation, and AI is a big part of that. So I'm happy to be here today, and I wanted to introduce my co-speakers here, Kiran and Grant, who have very kindly accepted my invitation and here as speakers. So I invite them to introduce themselves. Yes.
Kiran, if you'd like to go first.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Hello, everyone. I'm Kiran Sreewastav, and CEO of Bluedera. Bluedera is a consulting, advisory, and data services company. I'm a passionate change agent, and I've dedicated my career to really helping businesses drive to a data-driven culture. Throughout my journey, I've had the privilege of working in multiple Fortune 500 companies, driving numerous data and digital strategies. Most of my projects have been around modernization and rationalization initiatives. And we worked with some very large, innovative, and leading-edge technologies. I'm very happy to be here and really look forward to an engaging discussion with you all.
Great, Kiran. So I'm Grant Bodley, and the digital transformation of manufacturing is my passion. I spent the first half of my career working in the industry for manufacturers in the automotive, industrial, and high-tech industries, including Volkswagen, and spent the second half of my career working for leading ISVs and GSIs in enterprise software, data platforms, AI, and cloud, including SAP, IBM, and AWS. And now I'm providing executive advisory services for unicorns in the space that are looking to drive the digital transformation, leveraging the latest technologies, including generative AI. Really look forward to a great session with all of you. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kiran and Grant. So we will dive in, and today, we have prepared some presentations for you, and I'm going to try to share my screen here. So let's take a look at the agenda together. All right, let me know if you guys can see it.
We can.
Great, thank you. All right, trying to move my screen here. All right, so here's the agenda. We just went through introductions. So we're going to talk a little bit about AI. And then we're going to talk about how AI is transforming different industries, right? So we talk about manufacturing, we talk about aerospace, retail, and life sciences. And we'll give you some specific examples and applications of how the transformation is happening and what does the future look like. And then we're going to talk about what does it take to adopt AI in an enterprise and how you can successfully take that journey. So that's our agenda today. And then we'll have enough time for breakouts, questions, and answers, right? So first, we wanted to talk a little bit about AI, generative AI, and predictive AI, because we hear these terms quite a bit as we look at LinkedIn, as we look at Google, as we go to our workplace, right? So really, I mean, AI, or artificial intelligence, is the science of making machines that can think like human, making machines smart, right? One thing about AI is that AI technology can process large volumes of data, unlike humans. And the goal of AI is able to do things such as pattern recognition. It can make decisions, and it can judge like humans, right? So it's a fascinating technology, right? Now, generative AI is a part of AI which is capable of generating content such as text, image, audio, and synthetic data, right? So it's takes AI to the next level. And then predictive AI is about making predictions, forecasting based on historical data and real-time data, right? So it is a computer program's ability to use statistical analysis to predict the future. So that's what's predictive AI. So as we go through the examples today, you'll hear us talk about AI, generative AI, and predictive AI. So we just wanted to give you a little bit of a high-level context as to how we're thinking about different types of AI. So with that, we jump right into the first industry, which is manufacturing industry. And this is where Grant is going to talk about how AI is transforming the manufacturing industry. So over to you, Grant.
Great, thank you, Aditi. So AI is really becoming essential to the day-to-day operations of manufacturers, and it goes far beyond the robots that we've seen in factories for decades. Today, AI is most impactful in smart factories where humans and machines work together. So rather than replacing humans, most manufacturers are really looking to leverage the benefits of AI to augment human capabilities and enable them to work together more safely and effectively. And the highest impact use cases in 2023 for AI in manufacturing include generative design, cobots, AI in additive manufacturing, predictive maintenance, and lights out for smart factories as the holy grail. I only have time to talk to 3 of these right now, and we can cover the balance of those in the breakout session. So I'll talk briefly to the top 3, starting with generative design, which is a bit like the generative AI we've seen with technologies like ChatGPT, except instead of telling it to create text and images, we tell it to design products. And this is really valuable in product development because it enables you to generate a component shape with the most efficient use of materials while considering packaging constraints and manufacturing constraints. So generative design generates multiple design options for the engineer then to select which one they'd like to develop further. So it's a great tool to assist the engineer. And with the emphasis on the word assist, because AI will not replace the human aspect of the design phase, but it will always be the final decision of the designer as to which option they'd like to proceed and develop out further. But it really accelerates the process and saves a massive amount of time and effort. Secondly, talking about cobots, now robots have been used to automate manual tasks in factories for decades, but cobots are relatively new. And what makes them different is that they are designed to work alongside humans in a very safe and augmented way. So today they are widely used in industries like automotive, where they perform tasks including gluing, welding, greasing camshafts, and performing quality inspections with computer vision enabled cameras, which leverage AI. And the final topic that I'll touch on here briefly is the holy grail of the lights out factory. This really is a smart factory that's capable of operating entirely autonomously without any humans on site. And I know this sounds scary, but there are actually, this is mostly theory today, but there are a few examples of such factories, including the factory operated in Japan by Fanuc, the Japanese robotics manufacturer, which is capable of operating without any human supervision for periods of up to 30 days, building some pretty advanced robots. And, using a robot-only workforce, the benefits are that you can operate 7/24 without any human intervention. And this, gives you massive gains in output and efficiency. But the questions around, having, people replaced in manufacturing is a topic that we'd have to consider in terms of the wider impact on society. So those are the top three that I'll highlight. We can talk to the rest in the breakout. And with that, I'd like to hand back to Aditi to talk about aerospace.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kiran. That was so interesting. And I'm looking forward to talking about the rest of them, in later part of this call. So let's talk about aerospace. Aerospace industry is a fascinating industry. It's so large and it employs so many people, and it helps us all fly safely, get from one place to other. It contributes to our national defense and safety and security. And what it's got AI and generative AI have many ways to transform this industry, such as supply chain optimization. It helps to accelerate product design. It helps to improve the passenger experience, like when we are in an aircraft traveling from Dallas to Los Angeles, can have better passenger experience. Autonomous flight management, right? And then it improves the operation by creating digital twins in factories, as well as AI helps in space exploration with advanced applications and use cases, right? So today we're going to talk about a few of these, right? So let's start with the one that's very interesting. It's the supply chain, right? Optimization. So did you all know that a Boeing 747-8 aircraft comprises more than 6 million individual parts? That's a lot of parts to keep track of, especially when an aircraft needs maintenance. AI is like a mastermind for managing these airplane parts. It ensures the right parts are at the right place at the right time. This means less waiting around for repairs and keeping the planes in air more often. Now, who won't like that? I mean, I have waited in airports for a while for planes to get repaired, or inside an aircraft for planes to get repaired, right? So would love for AI to kick in full swing and help those planes keep flying, right? And AI-enabled supply chain management can actually help streamline processes. It can reduce costs. It can improve customer satisfaction, right? So it's got lots of different applications in supply chain. And in the future, we will see more and more efficiencies in supply chain coming from AI applications and generative AI applications, especially in maintenance and providing instruction for maintenance operators as well, right? Let's talk about accelerating product design, where generative AI can really help is to speed up product design, right? What you can think about that as an aircraft is designed or as a part of an aircraft is designed, generative AI can come up with hundreds of different design options based on the requirements, right? And it does it fast, right? So and then the engineers can use that and those designs, instead of having to design it themselves. And then they can use their time productively for other things, such as verification, testing, etc. And what happens is that the products can be then designed faster and brought to market faster, right? So that's going to be a big win as we apply AI and generative AI to product design, right? Now let's talk a little bit about passenger experience enhancement. Like, I love when I get into a flight, especially in the long flight, and AI kicks in and says what kind of movies I like, what kind of soft drink I like, what kind of food I like, right? So that's making it more personalized experience, right? So the personalization of flight experience and services for passenger is something that AI can really, really help with, right? And passengers are really looking good experience, safe, secure, seamless, and efficient travel. And that's where AI can really, really help, right? So those were some of the examples I wanted to share with you today. And as we continue to talk, I'll share more about the digital twin in operations, as well as some really, really cool examples in space exploration, as space becomes a big area for research, development, and execution as we move forward in technology, right? So now I'm going to invite Kiran to talk a little bit about experiences, how AI is transforming the retail industry.
Thank you. Really interesting stuff. Most of the things I'm going to share with you is my own personal experience as I worked with companies like McDonald's and GameStop and American Airlines, really driving to understand who are the customers. And obviously, everyone wants to make more money and be more efficient at it, and really offer their customers the best experiences and really personalized service that you can possibly do. Right. So I'm going to touch upon the same theme as the other two. I'm going to touch upon a few of these. And I'm sure all of you may have experienced this in your journey, buying things from different companies. So when you look at the first one, which is really demand sensing, it's for companies to really be able to forecast their demand for their products and services and sales. So looking at historical data and being able to predict, the future helps them to be better plan for their products and services, right? So, and this really is a game changer in the world of supply chain and retail. So it's about predicting accurately and very granularly, right? By the day, even by the hour, what is my future demand going to be like? And this really transforms the business in managing their inventory and making critical allocations of their products to different locations or to different categories or segments of their customers, right? So really, to be able to do demand forecasting, AI is going to be leveraging a lot of historical data that's been collected, but also causal data, like external factors like market trends, weather, seasonality, and even unexpected events like natural disasters. So AI then leverages all of this data to be able to enable companies be able to better predict and plan for sales or services, right? So this is what helps them to never run out of products that sell well in certain location or different stores. So this really is a game changer again for the supply chain and retail industry. The other thing I'd like to touch upon is personalization. Really, an organization really catering to each individual, being aware of my preferences, but also maintaining the data privacy and being able to offer their services highly personalized to me. So a lot of us may be receiving emails and really targeted marketing campaigns that are really based on our past behavior, right? What did we like to buy? Where did we spend our money? So organizations capture all that information and then leverage AI to be able to personalize their targeting or sending the right emails to the right customers, right? So Aditi touched about personalization in the aerospace industry, right? This is really in every industry uses data to personalize services and products. So that's highly, and it's been going on for a long time. I know we hear about AI now, but this has been ingrained in business processes for years and years, right? The techniques have got better. The technology is really, is enabling much more granular and much more personalized interactions and engagement now. But, in some form or the other, this has existed for a very long time, right? Then moving on to the one in the middle of the top line, this is a very interesting technology that Amazon has taken to the next level. A lot of us have experienced the self-service registers where you just go in and you don't have to wait for someone to check you out. You use these registers to just scan the product that you're buying, and it automatically creates the bill, and you pay and you leave. But Amazon has really taken it to the next level where they've implemented this grab. Sorry, I'm blanking out on what they. Excuse me for a second. Look at my note. Yeah, just walk out technology. So you walk into a store, you scan an app, and you just pick up the stuff you want. There's a series of cameras that is recording everything that you're buying, and then you just walk out. I mean, it's automatically billed to you, right? So this is a really cool technologies that Amazon is, and I expect to see this more and more. Definitely, it requires a lot to implement a technology like this. You need a lot of cameras, and you're really leveraging on technology, and not expecting errors right in the checkout process. So I expect a lot of retailers going in this direction as well. Okay, then the fourth one that I wanted to talk about is chatbots. And I'm sure a lot of us have experienced this when you call self-service and you really, it's a chatbot that's talking to you. They, whether it's answering your question, taking your complaints, or even reading out, a product list to you. So there's a lot of virtual assistants and agent assist technology where AI is transforming this customer service and support processes, right? So it's very easy for companies to scale where you can have an assistant or chatbot answer every customer who calls in gets personalized service. You do not have to have that many agents answering customer calls, right? So you can easily scale, like I said, to accommodate multiple customer inquiries. But I know every time I'm talking to someone, I realize as a chatbot, sometimes it does get irritating that you don't get that personalized, a human on the other side. But this is an easy way for companies to really provide customer support 24/7, by not having to hire that many humans to support that, right? And like Aditi and Grant said, we could discuss the other use cases in the breakout sessions. Back to you, Aditi.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kiran. That was very interesting. I myself has been to a store where there's cashierless technology in an airport, and it was quite an amazing experience. It felt really good. So see more of them coming up. Yes. Well, the next one we're going to talk about is how AI is transforming the life sciences industry. And this is very interesting, and it's got a very wide set of applications, all the way from drug discovery to clinical trial designs and how clinical trials are run, robotic surgery, protein sequence designs, then data augmentation for model training, as well as healthcare chatbots and patient support. And this is application of all kinds of AI, generative AI, predictive AI. It's very fascinating the way AI is coming in and transforming the life sciences industry. So let's pick up the first one, which is drug discovery, right? If you think about it, generative AI, can play a significant role in drug discovery and the development process, right? It can help with designing of new molecules and antibodies that then can be suitable for a particular target development, right? Generative AI can be used for creation and synthesis of data set, as well as for virtual trials, right? So it's got a very significant application in drug discovery and transforming the future of healthcare, right? So in pharma. So that brings me to clinical trials. As you all know, clinical trials can be very expensive and very time consuming. And AI can really help with that. AI can improve the speed of the trial and the success of the clinical trials, right? And it can reimagine the clinical trial and make these trials more intelligent, right? And one of the companies that I have come across, which is very popular with AI, is called Medidata AI. It has AI-powered clinical trials. Y'all can take a look at it. It's fascinating. It accelerates the trials and the time to market, right, with faster enrollment and increased agility. It's got a ton of industry's largest clinical data sets, right, that it can use for providing that intelligent trials, and it's able to predict some of the issues that may come up with the trials, right? So you're able to navigate with those predictions, right? And I know we talked about predictive analytics in manufacturing to predict the failures of the assets before they happen, and now we're talking about predictive analytics in clinical trial designs. I just wanted you to think about how the technology can transcend different industries and create an impact, right? So let's now talk about robotic surgery, right? So, robotic surgery is a classic use case of AI to enhance the accuracy, efficiency, and safety, all right, of surgical procedures performed by robots. It could be assisted by robots, performed by robots, and AI can help robots learn from large data sets, right? And it can detect patterns, which is, one of the things we talked about as we started the call about AI learning from data patterns, and it can improve the best practices, learn and improve, right? It can also help a robot can also integrate data sets. It can also integrate data from different systems, data from different records, and it can give a very nice 360 operational support for the surgeons. So it's got multitude of ways in which it can assist the surgical process. So we will see more on application of robotic surgery using AI as we go into the future. So I think those are some of the great applications we wanted to talk about, and we can talk more about this later. I did want to leave you with one more thought on healthcare chatbots and patient support. As we all know, it's a growing cost of healthcare. There's a particular chatbot called SmartBox 360. If y'all have a chance to look at it, please do. It's wonderful. It's very, very much engaging. It engages the patients and asks them about the symptoms and conditions and medical history, and is able to help the patient, and if needed, get a registered practitioner to support the patient instead of having to visit urgent care or some other other facility. So there are many such chatbots and help available with virtual assistants and help of AI. So very, very, very nice applications here. So with that, we want to talk a little bit about what does it take to adopt AI. Now that we've just scratched the surface here with all the wonderful applications of AI. We want to talk about what does it take to adopt AI, right? So whenever we think about AI, right, to really adopt it at scale, we need to start thinking about the strategy first, right? Now, I come from a consulting background, and all the speakers here have had consulting experience. We start thinking about the strategy, right? If you think about an enterprise who's looking at an AI journey, we'll think about where are we today in the enterprise, right? So, and where do we want to go in the future? The future where we want to go is the North Star vision, right? And between where we are and the North Star vision is what we develop the strategy, right, to get us to the North Star. So that's the strategy for the AI and generative AI and predictive AI that we would lay out as consultants, right? And then the strategy will involve what are the technology choices we make, what are the data strategy we have, because remember, we've got large volumes of data, and Kiran is going to talk more about the data platforms here and the data engineering. How do we get, because if you don't have clean data, AI is that successful as we want it to be, then we also need to talk about the process and the people, because everything needs to come together: technology, data, process, people, and the strategy to make the AI journey successful and create value for the enterprise. So I'm going to invite Kiran to talk about the data platforms and the technology platforms, and then we will have Grant as well chime in, and then we'll talk about some of the system integrators who are making a great impact in AI today. Over to you, Kiran.
Thank you, Aditi. So as Aditi said, right, I mean, the first thing you've got to start with is the strategy. And obviously the AI strategy has to be on top of your company strategy and your business strategy, of course, your IT, and then data, and then comes the AI strategy. So definitely having a clean synergy between your data, people, technology, and then really understanding what are the objectives you want to achieve, what are the outcomes, what are the key KPIs, and having that clear understanding and strategy, then and having a roadmap of execution, all that goes hand in hand, and having a successful, not just implementation, but adoption of the needed technologies to make the business achieve their own outcomes. So let's talk about data first. As we've talked about in the various slides that we've covered, data is really the new oil, right? And for AI to deliver those insights and to deliver the game-changing predictions, and you have to have good data to back that up on. So it's not just the enterprise data and historical data, but it's also unstructured data like text, images, and also external data that will help to enrich your own outcomes, right? Like weather data, seasonality, demographic data. So getting all this data collected, and like Aditi alluded to, your outcome is going to depend on the quality of the data. So being able to manage, all of this data and effectively and storing that data, as well as annotating and classifying your data, is very critical for a successful implementation of AI. Having good data practices around data privacy and security, data categorization, catalog, and all of these different pillars of data management are critical for an organization to be data driven. Right? It's not just producing data, but also managing and leveraging your data effectively. So all of these are, from a data perspective, each one of those are going to add to the quality of the outcomes of AI. And when you have this large amount of data, you have to have the processes or the infrastructure to be able to support storing and managing this data. So there's a lot of, so I'm going to now switch over to the technology and the tool portion of the need, right? So let's talk about platforms. Of course, cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and Google, they provide you the scalable resources that you need for AI products, right? Where you're not having to buy and have a huge data center, where you're really leveraging the infrastructure you need to drive your models or to drive your insights. And then once you're done running your models, you just shut down all of those resources. So the cloud platforms really provide you that scalable infrastructure and also the computing power that you need, because the models have to be trained. They need substantial computing power. So GPU and TPU, like NVIDIA, if you're following the stock market, the stock has been really doing really well the last few days, because they have this GPU that's really, it's an AI game changer, right? The other thing you need, of course, is machine learning and deep learning. There are a lot of algorithms that are available, and then you need all this technology like TensorFlow, PyTorch, and there's several other open source technologies available in the market as well. For data management, you need data management tools and ETL tools that help you to curate your data and make it available for your tools. And the list goes on. There's just a lot of infrastructure and technology, and as well as language tools out there that one can leverage to implement AI solutions. Now, switching over to the people, that's the third leg of this three-legged stool that's needed for AI or for any initiative, digital initiative for an organization. So there are different skill sets that are needed, and like Aditi is going to talk about other partners that are out there that you can engage with. Like Bludera, we go in and help customers really to come up with the strategy, but also to implement their solution. We have a ton of accelerators that we bring on, and other solution providers have accelerators that help customers to really accelerate this journey, right? They've done it several times and in the industry, and they have bring all the best practices with them. But also, every organization has to have their own, leaders as well as implementers of, data scientists and data engineers that will help to implement the AI practice for their organization. So Aditi, if you can talk about the...
Yeah, sure. I'll talk about the system integrator. Thank you so much, Kiran. So, as we look at the various platforms, the strategy and the technology, a lot of our enterprise customers are looking at partners, right, to come and help them in their AI journey. And that's happening because they probably don't have sufficient talent, that they haven't yet hired as many AI trained resources, or they're in the process of training, and it's a new area, right? So they are looking for talent, they are looking for experience, they're looking for resources to help them some of their AI and cloud platforms, right? So that's where some of the firms who are really in this technology and having center of excellence and developing talent come into the picture to help the enterprises, such as Infosys, and Capgemini, IBM, EXLS, Wipro, HCLTech, Deloitte, and others, right? So these firms are partnering with the customers, bringing in different ideas on the strategy. They are bringing in AI-ready platform, AI-ready use cases, and also they're bringing in some of the scalability that the enterprises are looking at to scale the AI processes. And even some of them have invested in generative AI capabilities and use cases, which they are bringing in, right, to our customers and enterprises. So Grant, I didn't know if you wanted to add anything.
Yeah, I definitely do. Really well articulated there, Aditi and Kiran. I think, Kiran, you made the point that we really need to understand how AI or generative AI can really, benefit your strategic business objectives, and then work backwards from that. And what I've seen, especially, working with many customers across the industry, AWS, IBM, etc., is the data strategy tends to be incremental, especially within manufacturing operations. The applications that are in use are, many of them are custom systems that are, many years old, not well connected. Not a lot of the data is actually being collected. And there are far better ways of doing that today, so that, having that open data strategy as kind of that foundation to really being in a position to have the full context, so that your AI models can actually give you the reliable outcomes and predictions that you need, and actually come up with some new content for you. So I think, helping you understand how AI can really augment and accelerate your business strategy is something we can help with. And then make sure that you've got the right roadmap and the right fundamentals in place to get to that point. And there's just so much that it can do for you today. And I think a lot of companies just need a lot of help in getting there. I'm happy to help with that.
Yeah, and just one more thing I'd like to add is that, you've got to really implement a structure of learn fast and fail fast. Yeah. Right? I mean, that's very critical to reiterate, and it's such a rapidly evolving field. So, it's often fun to implement the latest shining tool, but really, do you need that, or is there another best fit approach to solving your problem?
Fantastic, great. So thanks a lot, Kiran and Grant, for this very, very interesting discussion. I think I'm going to hand this back over to David for the next step in the breakout room and taking some of the questions we have. Yes. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here.
Thank you, Aditi, and all of you. First of all, I know that there were several questions in the chat. Would anybody like to unmute and come up and ask one?